The first step in most rehabilitation programs is to admit that one has a serious problem.
Look out for that first step! It's a Lulu!
Warned the cartoon character Bugs Bunny. Such has been the case for global climate change. Uncertainty, and in a few instances outright denial that global climate change is a serious problem, one of human origin, has stalled many attempts at intervention. An expanding body of evidence now has convinced most scientists that the world is warming at an unprecedented rate, that emissions of greenhouse gases from human activities are responsible for most of this warming, and that the effects of this warming may prove detrimental to life as we know it. Governmental bodies at regional, national, international levels seem poised to act. The next step is to develop a reasonable plan for diminishing the severity of the problem, a mitigation strategy. Abstinence, a successful approach for some dependencies, is not a viable option for fossil fuels. They provide 86% of the world's total energy production and virtually all the energy for transportation. Banning the use of fossil fuels, going cold turkey, would literally stop the world. Many other mitigation strategies are possible, ranging from relatively simple ones, like changing a light bulb, to some that are literally out of this world, like a giant space umbrella. This video segment begins an examination of strategies for decreasing greenhouse gas emissions from the transportation sector. The major points. Number 1. World energy consumption is increasing for population growth and economic development. Number 2. Petroleum serves as the energy source for over 95% of transportation. Number 3. Major factors that influence fuel efficiency of vehicles include driving conditions, taxes on petroleum and vehicles, consumer preferences, diesel-powered vehicles, and agreements with automobile manufacturers. World energy consumption has increased an average of about 2% per year over the last few decades. Much of this increase derives from population growth and economic development. On a per capita basis, worldwide energy consumption remains relatively constant. That is, each person uses only slightly more energy than he or she did in previous decades. Moreover, less energy is required to stimulate a given amount of economic activity. Calories per gross domestic product have declined. This means we now get more bucks for our bang. Countries vary widely in their energy usage. For example, each person in the United States and Japan uses more energy than the world's average, but require equal or less energy to generate a dollar's worth of economic activity. In contrast, each person in China uses less energy, but requires more energy to generate a dollar's worth of economic activity. Slowing global energy consumption would abate greenhouse gas emissions, but would require a departure from current economic activities. Some people argue that such changes might unduly hamper economic development and threaten human prosperity, while others argue that such changes might even improve quality of life. Subsequent video segments on economics examine these arguments. Slowing global energy consumption would conserve non-renewable natural resources. Finite are A. Supplies of fossil fuels such as petroleum, coal, and natural gas. B. Deposits of radioactive materials such as uranium. C. Productive sites for hydro, wind, solar, geothermal, tidal, and wave electricity generation. And D. Arable land with sufficient water for biomass production. In specific, the amount of petroleum extracted per year in North America and Europe and Eurasia has already peaked. If fuel consumption were to continue at its 2006 rate, known reserves of petroleum would last approximately 41 more years, coal 147 more years, natural gas 63 more years, and uranium 70 more years. Of course, these reserves would deplete more quickly if fuel consumption continues to accelerate.